As you build your instructional planners, working with Stage 1, the big idea and goal, please keep in mind that each big idea and goal must include a behavior, a condition, and a criteria. Let's look at some examples. Let's begin by examining the behavior. This is the behavior students will exhibit to show learning. Think about it as what the students will do to show they are learning and understanding the material taught throughout the unit. In looking at the example below, the portion of the sentence that states, students will solve the problem independently, evaluate the reasonableness of their answers, and independently provide a written 2 to 4 sentence justification for their answer, is the action that the students are taking to demonstrate that they understand the material that you are teaching. Next, let's examine the condition. This is the condition under which students will exhibit the behaviors. So when looking again at the example below, the condition is given one multi-step problem involving addition and subtraction. The condition includes what information the students are provided or materials given to them as they begin to implement the behavior. Lastly, let's examine the criteria. The criteria is how teachers will determine whether or not students meet the big idea or objective. In looking at the example below, the portion of the sentence which states, "will answer the question correctly using specified steps," is the criteria in which we will evaluate whether or not students have met the behaviors under the conditions that were established. So again, the criteria is what teachers will use to determine whether or not students meet the big idea or goal. Let's take a look at an example provided by one of our specialists. The top sentence, students need to understand that each sensing organ, is a big idea or goal that was created for kindergarten science. In looking at the behavior, the condition, and the criteria, the below sentence was written to modify the big idea or goal to meet the behavior, condition, and criteria. So in looking at the sentence at the bottom, given the series of activities that involve sensing organs, eyes, ears, nose, and tongue, and skin, which would be the condition, students will work in groups of 3 to 4 to gather information, make observations about the world, and articulate their observations through picture drawing. That would be the behavior, what students are doing to show that they're learning the material. And then finally, the criteria would be for each of the 5 senses organs they observed. So they would need to make sure that they gathered the information that existed in the behavior for all 5 senses in order to meet the criteria.